We are here this morning for the At the Table campaign and for the global coalition of G8 and G20 social justice organizations, all of whom have been involved in the development of an extraordinary petition and message to the G8 and G20 leaders. My name is Gerry Barr. I'm the president of the Canadian Council for International Cooperation, and it'll be my pleasure to convene and facilitate the press conference this morning. The whole world wants a global financial order that will bring food security, educational opportunity, basic health care with solid support for mother-child health, sustainable development, an order that will take on the challenges of the environment, mitigation, adaptation, and financial mechanisms which will guarantee new resources for development. And we hope that those global leaders who are gathered here today and through the next 2.5 days will also take these things on. And if they do not, what's the use of them?
I'm here to tell you that the world is watching. The world is watching the leaders who are gathered here and watching what they will do to solve the climate crisis that the world is in. Before the climate summit in Copenhagen in December, we, together with others in the global campaign for climate action, delivered 15 million signatures for a fair, ambitious and binding climate deal. The world was watching leaders in Copenhagen. Leaders disappointed the world in Copenhagen, but the world is still watching. Now we see with the petition here that the world is still demanding action on climate change. You may think that climate change is an environmental issue, and yes, it is, but it's not only that. Climate change is very much about development. Climate change is about securing the rights of small island states to survive also in the future. Climate change is about securing the rights of people to survive in spite of tropical storms, droughts and floodings, which will be worse if we don't combat climate change. Climate change is about development. And we need to see action now, because if we don't control climate change, it will be one of the biggest threats to development in the years going forward. And it is already happening. What we demand from world leaders is ambition. And it is action. Ambition, they already say they have. They already say that they want to keep temperature rise below 2 degrees. That's not quite enough. And even worse, what they propose as action doesn't even lead us there. What they propose as action so far leads us to a world with 3 or 4 degrees temperature rise, a world in which development will be very, very difficult, and a world in which the poor are going to suffer even more than they do today. We also insist on action in terms of supporting directly the poor countries, the poor people, to be able to cope with climate change. So this is about action both to reduce the emission of those who emit most, and about action to help those who cannot cope to actually be able to cope with climate change. Adaptation to climate change needs much more funding than it has today. So we want to see fulfillment of the promises to secure funding. They promised $30 billion between now and 2012, and we want to see new ideas to make sure that this funding is additional to what they have already promised to provide to the poor. Thank you.